Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live. We're here for another Bolivar Live, the Lighthouse series. Today I'm with some of the Maxwell brothers. We're going to talk about skiing on the Intercoastal. You don't see it very often, or if at all anymore, because of the tug traffic. We have some tubers out in the bay a little bit, and we've got a parasail boat now that takes people out. But y'all used to ski, and I was listening to some stories. Y'all used to ski in the Intercoastal.
Yes, sir.
What was that like?
It was where you met a million kids. Elmer bought my cousin, had a good boat. We had a good boat, and Mary Jeffrey. We're all cousins. We would meet up at the yacht basin, fishing down there at Grandpa's yacht basin, and launch our boats. Well, there was the Thorntons, Marilyn Thornton and her brother. Marilyn could ski with the best of them. I think she's a lawyer in Beaumont now. A lot of the high school kids in Beaumont families were along the beach. Mm-hmm. They would all come. Everybody just met everybody.
And it was mainly Beaumont personnel, and that's what a lot of, now we get people from all over, but this was like the coastal connection for Beaumont families.
Yeah, if we had the boat, you were there, they could drive up to the Intercoastal Canal, and everybody had fun. We were meeting kids, they were meeting us, we had the boat. It was fun.
Our water skiing, of course, you started off on two skis. We didn't know anything about skiing, and that's where we learned. And of course, you realize how dangerous. With the tugboats, of course, the tugboat traffic then wasn't near like it is now. But plus, the Intercoastal Canal was narrower then, and it's every year
about half the size of what it is now.
That's correct. That's correct.
I guess the best skiers, Elmer got killed later on, but in a car wreck. But Elmer, Marilyn. They were with the best. They had got their.
Any shenanigans that went on while you were out there?
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
Well, you want to tell what happened to Barry we were double skiing? Remember?
Yeah, well, that's when I turned. Barry was on the short rope, Marilyn was on the long rope, and she got off, and Barry reached down and picked the rope up and he wrapped her in his thing. Well, when you slowed down, he jerked it.
It hurt his calf.
It kind of hurt his calf. It went down. His calf was down there around his ankles.
Oh man.
Well, the worst problem, we tried to figure out who was going to take him to the hospital, and the rest of us want to keep skiing.
Got to get your priorities straight.
We met you made some friendships and met a bunch of good Beaumont kids, and whoever was there showed up. Just part of the game.
Well, Lloyd took Barry to the ferry boat, and Mr. Lynn, who was our neighbor, they lived right here, right down the street from us. The Lynn's house had a big family. He was the captain of the ferry boat. And the ferry boat had pulled out of the harbor there, going to Galveston, and the word got to him that had an emergency. So he backed up and took one car off the ferry boat and put Lloyd and Barry on the boat
to take him to the hospital.
John Seeley in Galveston.
Everybody knew everybody. We were kids coming up, and it was different times, totally different times.
And there's still a lot of friendships. You were asking me about the Kaylas up in High Island, and I said, "Oh, Debbie Kayla, yeah," and yes. Claude, and I remember the old hardware store. That I think it was there till Ike.
That's right. Ike took it out.
It's the families down here go on for generations. Beaumont, now we're getting other families from other areas.
Well, it was like the Johnsons down here. My grandfather and people, darn bosses out of Nederland, all of them owned big blocks of land. Everybody knew each other, and it was a different time. You'd go down here, you just knew everybody. The locals were fabulous people.
Bolivar Peninsula was our winter pasture for the cattle, and Grandpa had thousands of cattle down here, and everybody was like a big family. And then the Kayla family, different ones would help with the cattle drive.
Right. And they still do that down here.
Well, back then, you see it happen down at the wildlife refuge, but you'd burn your pastures off to get it down, and it was fabulous grazing. Now, there was nobody down here. We'd work cows. You'd never see anybody all day long. And you had to know what restaurant was open if you were going to eat. Mr. Troe had over here. You had one at Crystal Beach. And then you had one at Highland.
At Highland, you had the Cardinals nest there. And in later years, we trucked the cattle down here. David and I, we'd drive the cattle trailer, bring our cattle down here. And At the end of the day, we usually make 3 loads a day, let's say, because we're coming out of Cottonwood. That's about an hour drive. And we had several different places we picked the cattle up. But then at the end of the day, you can imagine how we smelled. Well, like Don and I would be riding together a lot of times, and we'd stop at Highland at the Cardinal's Nest. Of course, we didn't smell too good. But the ladies were so nice. They'd always let us come in and they'd set us off in their corner.
Right.
And of course, when we left, I'm sure they used quite a few cans of Lysol. but they always good food.
You know,
Good people.
my Uncle Cecil boy and all that, they were cattlemen. I mean, just as good as you could get. But they had one bad habit when we were all in Carolina. We had no portable television. So whenever you were working, you'd work till the time to get there, and we'd carry this old portable
television.
and just plug it in, they'd watch as the world turned.
Oh.
And then we'd wrestle the TV back out the car and go finish working the rest of the day with them.
Rest of the day.
They were cowmen. They were cowmen.
Well, you can see there's never a dull moment here on Bolivar, whether it's in the intercoastal, beachfront, the North Jetties, all the families. This was a gathering place for families out of Beaumont here on Bolivar, especially in the summertime. So we're going to keep our Bolivar Live Lighthouse series going. We've got some talks with Amy. Lloyd will be back, and we'll have some more information through his eyes. And maybe we can get all 3 of the brothers together and see who's lying. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.